What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest city in the world, Wrestling City. As always, I'm Ryler, and today I am going to be reacting to yet again another video from Wrestling Gifts, aka Pav, and that is the worst character models in WWE games history. So I saw this video and I instantly knew when I was gonna watch this regardless, but I decided I needed to make a reaction video to this because I have thought about this a lot before. I have thought about making some sort of short or video for this because throughout history there have been a lot of goofy looking character models. Judging from the thumbnail on this, I already know a few of them that are going to be in there, but when I think of bad character models, the first one I think of is that Booker T character model from WWE 12. It's the front and center of this thumbnail, so I know it's going to be on there, but it is so bad. It doesn't even look like Booker T. It looks like the skin tone's not correct. The face isn't correct. I remember in WWE 13 they fixed the skin tone a little bit. It at least was a little bit more accurate in that way, but he still looks like some random generic dude off of like FIFA or something. Like, I don't know how in the world they did that. But I can't think of off the top of my head any other like crazy bad looking ones. So yeah, let's go ahead and, well, Edge, that's another one too. Edge in the 2K, like 2K15, 2K16, all the way to like 2K20. He looked so bad. So I wonder if he's also going to be in there. But yeah, let me not go on too much of a rant. We'll see. It is 11 minutes, so you know, go bathroom, grab a drink, do whatever you need to do so we can watch this video together. Okay, yeah, without further ado, let's get this started.
Wrestling video games have come a long way over the years when it comes to graphics. The 2K series reached the point where, despite any issues we might have with the games themselves, we can all agree that the graphics have been pretty awesome. And as a result, we have been blessed with some crazy models recently. That 2009 Randy Orton in 2K23 was genuinely...
That model is crazy. That is, to this day, in the newer games, the best model I have seen in the games. It looks like real life in certain angles. I mean, look at that right there. Just masterpiece.
jaw-dropping, and the details we get on models these days, such as Umaga, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, it's insane. But as we know, it's not always sunshine and rainbows when it comes to character models in the world of wrestling video games. So I decided to go back and take a look at some legendary character models that are legendary for the wrong reasons, because there are a few things funnier than when a wrestling game just absolutely butchers a wrestler. From Trish Stratus looking like a blow-up doll on the PS1 to Goldberg looking like this, ladies and gentlemen, these are the worst character models in WWE video game history, and we begin with Triple H from Raw on the Xbox. Raw on the Xbox and PC is one of the worst wrestling video games I've ever played, a game that most people probably have never played, unless you were down bad for a PC wrestling game in the 2000s. But with it being that bad, trust me, it's that bad. Surprisingly for the time, this did pretty well when it came to capturing wrestlers for their character models. Everyone in this game looks really good, and it still holds up to this day. The Rock looks great, look at the detail on Haku, Jeff Hardy, but then there's Triple H. Everyone in this game looks solid.
Wow. What in the world? Okay, I have never played this game personally, but I do know shout out to The Great One on YouTube. I have watched his channel for a while, and he has talked about how awful this game is, and he used to, like, he only had it, this was the only game on WWE game on PC for like decades, so he used to be forced to play this game basically, and this is just so bad. That's insane. That's Triple H.
And then there's Triple H, you know, just one of the most popular wrestlers in the world at the time. Just casually have him out here looking like a sad and depressed Michael Myers. He looks so sad in this game. It doesn't make any sense. Did they scan his face after Hogan beat his ass at Backlash 02 or something? It's okay, Triple H. Everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna bury the entire Raw roster for the next few years. It's all good. Hey, yo, it's so sad because poor Trips had it rough during this phase of his career. The poor guy, No Mercy on the N64, looked terrifying. Here comes the pain. A game that captures every wrestler perfectly still couldn't capture Triple H. But still, nothing beats the depression of Triple H from Raw on the Xbox.
Yeah.
What is this? Moving on to SVR 2007, an amazing game with amazing graphics, especially on the 360 that still hold up to this day. It also happens to be the game where they had Dusty Rhodes looking like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Dusty Rhodes prior to this had never ever been in a WWE video game, and when he finally makes his debut, what does he get? He gets this, and this looks even worse on the PS2 version. First of all, he's barely thick. How the hell do you make Dusty Rhodes and not make him fat? Second, this is
nothing like him. That is Dusty Rhodes off of Wish.com. That is crazy. I get it because they can't do his exact like his build, you know, the chubbier look. I get it, but wow. At that point, just don't include him. You know what I mean? They got him good in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, though.
Does not look like Dusty Rhodes. This is like what we thought Dominic Mysterio was gonna look like when he grew up back in 2005. This is what a Dominic Mysterio created wrestler would have looked like if I made one in 2005. That boy ain't right. But let's move on to an absolutely hilarious one. And this one is hilarious because it's not Triple H, it's not Dusty Rhodes. It's hilarious because it's a wrestler that nobody ever needed or wanted in SVR 09. They just did the most random guy possible dirty.
Tony?
From SVR 09, you know what? This one is so bad. I want you guys to guess it, okay? Just take a look at this man. 3, 2, 1. If you guess Jamie Noble, you're wrong. If you guess Michael Cole, you're wrong.
Okay.
If you guess the suspect wrestling coach from South Park, you're kind of close. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Charlie Haas from SVR 2009. Now,
no way, dude. I really said Bushwhacker Luke. That is so bad. I did not know this one. I thought.
First of all, I don't even remember DLC. Charlie Haas was in the company in 2008, let alone in SVR 09. Second, why the hell does he look like this? Is bad, okay? This is really bad. This actually looks like some shitty COD I would have made back in 2008. If you asked 10-year-old me to make a generic wrestler in the COD mode, I probably would have made this. And the worst part is this guy right here. This was a part of the paid DLC. THQ put this out there for actual money. I don't know what's more disrespectful, asking money for Charlie Haas in 2009 or him looking like this. Genuinely one of the lowest effort wrestling models I have ever seen in my life. Charlie Haas, what are we doing here? Stone Cold Steve Austin is on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and going back to the 90s, he's always had pretty solid models in video games. I mean, it's a bald guy with a goatee, and more often than not, they would always clutch it. But one model has always bugged me when it came to Austin. One model has always grinded my gears, and it's Steve Austin in SVR 2009 looking like f***ing Dr. Phil for some reason. Yo, I don't know what, how, why they changed anything. He looked great for a solid few years, and then it's like, oh, it's time for SVR 11, and we get this. Why? And it's not the worst, but it's just something that always grinded my gears. But boys and girls, when it comes to worst character models in wrestling video game history, there is one GOAT. There's one that stands above all the rest, the one that has been memed to death, but we still gotta mention it. It's Booker T in WWE 12. Who else didn't know Ronaldinho was in a wrestling game? They took Booker T and made him light-skinned. How? What? Where? How? Not only is he light-skinned, okay? He doesn't even look like Booker T.
How in the world did they look at this and say, oh, yeah, that's great. Let's just leave it like that. Like, not only, like he was saying, the skin tone, that's not even correct. Like, literally, I imagine he's going to mention this, but the Impact game they came out with a few years before this, Booker T looked amazing. Even in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, he looked okay. But this is just an abomination. That looks nothing like him. It's crazy.
So it's like, what is this? Who is this? Look at those facial features. That is not Booker T. That is AC Milan 2009 Ronaldinho. And the next year they try to fix him, right? And they try to make him dark skin again. But it's like, that is just half of the problem.
Same thing.
The other half of the problem is that your model looks like Jar Jar Binks. I think what added to the legend of this model was a few years prior to this, we had just seen Booker in a TNA game, and he looked fantastic. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to see Booker when he comes back to the WWE series. And it's like, this is what we get. All-time classic fumble. As the years went on and we moved on to the PS4 era, the graphics for these games got better than ever, and they look more lifelike than ever, but that also made it that much more jarring when they did mess up. Now, I don't consider Cena in 2K15 Next Gen bad by any means, not at all. This was such an impressive advancement. When I first saw the screenshot, I was shook, but I can't put my finger on it, but for some reason, Cena in this game, he always just looked like an ape to me. I don't know if I'm the only one who sees it, but he always just looked like he's straight out of Planet of the Apes.
That's fair.
But it was still way better than what we had on last gen for a few years. Cena on the PS3 from like 13, 14, and 15, he looks so traumatized. Every time I see him, like, are you okay, John? He just looks like he's seen some shit. Eyes all bugged out and everything. It's fine, John. It's okay. But one wrestler who always got done dirty every single year during the PS4 era was Edge. 2K15 and beyond, for some reason, Edge just never looked like Edge. When it comes to 2K15, it's bad. It's really bad. As the subtitles say, who the hell is this? Edge in 15 is just weird. Just some generic white guy looking like he was just casted in Animal Kingdom Season 3. And it just continued every single year until 2K22 he looked like ass. And don't even get me started on his entrance and the stupid ass walk he had for so many years. I don't know, I guess there was just something about making retro Edge, because even now the modern Edge in like 22 and 23 look great, and then you see the retro one and it's like, what happened? I don't know. For some reason, the best way I can explain it is they always had Edges looking like a dog. Yeah, wrestling games have always sucked with hair, especially with women wrestlers. And going back to the 2K era on PS4, how can we ever forget how dirty they used to do Renee Young, especially on 2K16? She was out here looking like she did meth for a living. How do you mess up a character so bad, especially one that every single person playing career mode is going to see in their interview section?
Yes, but during this career mode, like every single week almost, maybe it was every few weeks, there were these optional interviews and you got to choose your response. And so you got to see this a bunch of times during my career. So the fact that they looked at that and thought that was good is crazy. I mean, it's something you're going to see no matter what. Yeah,
it's fine. Because speaking of meth, look at Dean Ambrose in 2K18, somehow looking even more cracked out and homeless in the video game than in real life. Why is he so pale? Is he okay? He looks like he's on a watch list. You can't tell me he doesn't look like he's on a watch list. And I get it. He looked pale and disgusting and weird in 2017. I get it. But come on, at this point, you should have just left his old model in and called it a day, because this is just disgusting. Dana Brooke in 2K17. Do I even have to say anything? If this was me,
PTSD,
don't even put me in the game at that point. Just leave me alone, bro. And then there's The Undertaker. The Undertaker has been in more wrestling video games than any other wrestler in history, and somehow he's been pretty immune to bad character models for the most part. But yo, they did his American Badass model in 2K19 so dirty. It's so sad, and it was paid DLC. Yep, let's have 2002 Undertaker with no logo on his shirt, no logo or anything on his pants, and best of all, let's just take 50-year-old Taker who just looked depressed all day every day and just throw a bandana on him and call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, 2002 Undertaker. What was this?
I do not remember
Straight
that.
shameless. But hey, if you think that's bad, don't worry. Remember 2K20? Remember that abomination that made every single wrestler look horrible somehow? But yo, every wrestler looked bad in that game. We know that, right? But what they did to Io Shirai in 2K20 should be punishable by law. So picture this, you're playing 2K20, sadly, and you choose Io Shirai, as she was called back in the day, okay, the modern day Io Sky, and you're all excited to play, and she comes out, and the entrance is popping, the lighting is popping, the music is hitting, and it looks pretty cool. There's so much detail on her mask, on her attire, and it looks great. It's a great experience. You know, she gets on the apron, the music is still bumping, like I said, and then she takes off her mask, and it's just a random generic Asian girl. Bro, what? To this day, this one genuinely baffles me. They just took a random Asian created wrestler, threw in a mask, and called it. This is actually up. I am 99% sure that whoever was responsible for creating Io in this game, they had no idea that this wrestler wrestled without a mask. And someone told them like a few days before, like, hey, you know, she doesn't.
Okay, so I don't remember this one very well, like at all. I didn't really pay attention to her much during this time, and I didn't play 2K20 that much. But yeah, that's pretty bad. I can see some ways, but at the same time, that's a little concerning, because there are similarities, but that's literally just because eyes, you know, it's not, her facial structure is completely different. So that is pretty crazy. But this time, you know, the 2K did not care. They just pushed out whatever they had at that moment, and we paid for it. Luckily, 2K22, everything got better. I don't know what our model looked like in 2K22, but hopefully it's not like that, because that looks, nothing like her.
Wrestle with the mask, like, it's fine, she's still Asian. Horrible. But it's like, what do you expect? This is the same game that had The Rock stun double in the game instead of The Rock. I'm not joking. That's literally his stun double. And then they had the audacity for the DLC Rock that you had to pay for from $19.99 to be the exact same model as the modern day Rock, but just with hair. Thank God we bullied 2K into canceling 2K21 because these guys were shameless.
Facts.
2K20, what a game. The game that had Randy Orton with shit on his head, the only wrestling game with a Walmart Karen in it, the game where they took Becky Lynch, the cover star, and did this to her. And you know who's actually just genuinely cursed when it comes to all of this? It's Bret Hart. Bret Hart is cursed, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about action figures, video games, or his actual life, Bret Hart is cursed. Bret Hart, especially since like 07, 08, has had the worst luck with his face. None of his action figures ever look like him, and even in the video games, it's like, yeah, sometimes it's solid, sometimes it's alright, but most of the time, it's pretty bad. They're just never able to capture his likeness, and honestly, maybe it's Bret's fault for having such a basic face that is so basic that apparently it's impossible to recreate. I don't know. I just feel bad for Bret because he never looks like Bret in any of the video games. 2K18 is probably the one where I'm like, yeah, that's Bret Hart. Someone in the comments of a Bret Hart 2K24 entrance said, oh, they really messed up his face and hair. Everything else is great. Everything else is great. What the f is left? But to cap it off, last year, sadly, it was the beloved Bayley that just got absolutely clapped.
Yes.
It looks like they accidentally put Paul Heyman's face on her and just called it a day. And then when you really look at it and you're like, wait, why did they push her hairline back so much? And then you really look at it and wait, that's not Bayley, that's Chucky. You know what's cooked when the wrestler herself was like, help me. I can't wait to see who gets clapped in 2K25. Now, I get it. Developing a video game is very hard and capturing likeness is impossible. I could never do it. I'm not trained enough. I suck. I can't even make a create a wrestler properly. I get it. And this is not to, clown the developers too much, but it's just funny when, like, the one job you have is to make the wrestler look like the wrestler in the wrestling video game, and then you get something like this. And it's always just 10 times more embarrassing when it's like Bayley or Triple H. Like, no one cares about Charlie Haas. We get it. It's fine, right? But when it's like Bayley getting clapped, what are we doing here? In the comments down below, though, let me know, are there any that I missed? I'm sure there are. There's always been a bunch of them that look nothing like the wrestler. But these, to me, are the worst of the worst. These are the ones that always come to my head when I think of this topic. But yeah, let me know if there's anyone that I missed. It's your boy Pav, and I hope you guys enjoyed the quick little video. I'll see you guys soon with the next one very, very soon. Till then, though, take it easy and stay.
Yeah, another great video by Pav. I think I knew most of these models. A few of them, that Charlie Haas one was crazy. I can't believe I thought it was Bushwhacker Luke. That just tells you how bad it was. The Bayley one, they've shown screenshots for 2K25, and Bayley looks like she's gotten her model finally fixed up for this upcoming year, but I remember people were clowning her for the 2K24 model. But yeah, that's about it. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop a like. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think was the worst model out of this one. Or maybe ones he also forgot that weren't mentioned before. And as always, subscribe. Come join the greatest city in the world, Wrestling City. We'll always appreciate some new members. We're trying to expand. So come join the movement. Come be a part of Wrestling City. And that's about it. I will see you next time. Peace.